Test one, two, test one, two. Recording in progress.
Morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Insurance Benefits and Ledge Committee for Wednesday, May 3rd. Jerry, call the roll.
Thank you. This meeting is being conducted virtually and in person, so I will do a roll call of the trustees to confirm attendance. Ms. Ginsburg? Here. Mr. Santos?
Here.
Ms. Gray? Mr. Bernstein? Mr. Sanchez?
Good morning.
Mr. Oakham?
Good morning.
Mr. Green? Ms. Greenwood? Mr. Kehoe?
Present.
Mr. Harris? Chair Robbins?
I am here.
Staff participating in the meeting include CEO Santos Kryman, Deputy CEO Louis Lugo, AEOs JJ Popovich, Laura Guglielmo, Chief Counsel Stephen Rice, Legislative Affairs Officer Barry Liu, from Retiree Healthcare, Cassandra Smith, Director, and Kathy Magida, consultants Stephen Murphy and Michael Zito from Siegel. Trustees, please use the raise your hand option to be placed in queue. At this time, we ask all meeting participants to mute your mics until you are ready to speak, and we may now proceed with the agenda.
As far as item 2 goes, is that the chair's responsibility to rattle through that information every meeting now, or can we just assume that everybody knows it? All right, item 2, procedure for teleconference meeting attendance under AB 2449, Government Code Section 54953, F as in Frank. So if you just cause action or emergency circumstances request or statement of persons present at AB 2429 teleconference locations are all of the reasons or excuses you need to not attend the meeting in person.
We have no requests.
So moving right along to item 3A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of April 5th. I need a motion. Are there any changes? Seeing none, need a second.
Second.
Record your vote.
Yes, I don't know how to do that here yet. Morning, Sean.
The motion passed. Public comment, item number 4. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address the committee?
I have no
We
requests.
have no requests. We're now on item 5A, Assembly Bill 1020, Disability Retirement. I read this bill. This is interesting. Do you want to give us a brief synopsis of this, Barry?
Yes, thank you, Chair Robbins, and good morning, committee trustees. So AB 1020 is a bill that's been introduced to basically increase the number of presumptions that are in the 1937 Act. Currently, there are 4 presumptions in the LACERA, which are heart, cancer, bloodborne infectious disease, and exposure biochemical substances. So what this would do is add additional injuries and diseases, which include hernia, pneumonia, PTSD, tuberculosis, meningitis, skin cancer, Lyme disease, and lower back impairments. So as far as the bill is concerned, with this memo, you will notice that we've had several questions about the bill in terms of how the presumptions are structured. Although I'm recommending that the committee and the board adopt a neutral position, I think these questions need to be clarified in terms of how the presumptions are structured, so that the board can effectively apply these presumptions when you're adjudicating disability retirement applications.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to take a neutral position on the bill. Is there a second? Then we'll have whatever discussion anybody wants.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion?
Just confirming, is this gonna be a watch position? Or we?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's our normal procedure, so
Please cast your vote.
could you vote?
Mr. Oakham, how would you like to cast your vote?
Yeah.
Yes. Ms. Gray? Okay.
And the motion passed, correct? It only popped up there for a few seconds on my screen, so. Was that a 4-1 vote or? Okay.
Unanimous.
We are now on item 6A, engagement report for April 2023. Mr. Lou.
Thank you, Chair Robbins. So some items of interest for you this month. The first one, found out about a website on Social Security that the Illinois Public Pension Fund Association created. As far as I can tell, that organization is sort of like Illinois's safety member version of what we have as SACRIS in California. So I thought it was a very comprehensive website that sort of lays out how Social Security benefits affect government employees. And so they explain, the windfall elimination and the government pension offset. And then interestingly, a sort of a FAQ common rumors section regarding pensions and Social Security that very interesting as well. So want to forward that for everyone's attention. Next item is that several states are considering COLA increases. So as we all know, inflation has been a fact of life these last couple of years, and as reflected in Social Security benefits for 2023, it's going to be an 8.7% increase in a COLA for Social Security benefits. But even though about 3/4 of state and local retirement systems have COLA provisions, some states don't pay a COLA at all, it appears. So for example, Pennsylvania and Texas, they haven't paid a COLA in close to 20 years. And so given current circumstances, you can see they're considering bills to, provide some sort of COLA benefits as people's purchasing power for their benefits are being eroded. And then the next item is about Montana pension reform. So it seems, as we have more challenging economic times, more and more pension reform bills seem to be coming to the forefront. So there are a couple of bills in the state of Montana. We're trying to reduce the amortization period to deal with their unfunded liabilities. But what this means is that employer contributions would be gradually increasing, and then also retirement eligibility provisions are becoming stricter. So as you can see from here, the plan sponsors and labor organizations are opposing these changes in trying to deal with the unfunded liability. And then in Alaska, I report on this in the past. They're probably the only state system that doesn't have a pension plan. They have a 401k style plan, but with their recruiting and recruitment challenges in recent years, they are reconsidering reintroducing the defined benefit plan. So they have a bill in place right now that would do that. In some of the conversations regarding this, it seems that their defined contribution plan have been having unintended consequences. For example, a lot of teachers learn within the first 5 years that they might not have a stable retirement plan, but then at the same time, that DC plan fully vests after 5 years. So what a lot of teachers do is just kind of wait 5 years, wait for that DC plan benefit to vest, and then they'll take that with them to find a better job prospects. So I think state of Alaska has been recognizing this in terms of retaining teachers and other public employees. So they're in the process of reintroducing a pension plan. And then the last item concerns sort of our neighbor to the north, CalSTRS, and apparently a lot of teachers are being hit with overpayments due to the fact that I think teacher pay is very complex to calculate. So CalSTRS has found out between 2016 and 2022 that several miscalculations have happened. So you can see the magnitude of some of those overpayments. One teacher owes $75,000. Another one owes about $67,000, but then at the same time, their monthly benefits are reduced by $1,200. So sort of a double whammy there when you have anytime you have overpayments. There was a bill introduced last year to sort of hold teachers harmless from this, but it only applies to errors that were detected in audit reports released after 2023. So it's not really retroactive, but going forward, it seems this will deal with this issue. So that's concludes my report. Happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Lou? Seeing none, thank you very much. Staff activities report, Cassandra.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Just one thing on the staff activity report, and then I have a couple of things that I want to ensure that the trustees are aware of. The one thing is 2023-24 retiree drug subsidy applications have been submitted to CMS. We've received notification that they've approved all of the applications for us, so we're continuing on that path. of trying to get the subsidy amount for our plan sponsor. Also, we received recently notification from Cigna that as of our renewal period in 2024, they are in the process of transitioning to digital ID cards only for members that are in the Cigna Network Model Medical Plan. So all of our members that are in the Cigna Medical Plan here in California and all will now only be receiving access to their ID cards either through Cigna's website, or they can call in and ask for an ID card, and as well as LACERA retiree healthcare staff will be able to go in and try to access and send an ID card out to the members. But as a standing note, they will no longer be sending paper ID cards as of July of next year, 2024. And in your CEO's report today, there's an article in there under the retiree healthcare division informing you that some of our people that are in the Anthem Blue Cross 1, 2, and 3 plans that live in Idaho, we have 118 members that reside there, have received notification from CMS that they can no longer obtain a 90-day supply at retail nor through mail order. So those members now are only able to obtain a 30-day supply at a network pharmacy and pay the co-insurance amount as opposed to the co-pay amount. Now, the co-insurance amount is 20% of the cost versus their co-pay amount of $10, $30, or $50 for a 90-day supply.
Did you say Idaho?
No, in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma,
Yes.
okay. 'Cause I'm going now, there's more than 118 in Idaho, I can tell you that.
Currently, Oklahoma is the only state that has implemented such a restriction or limitation. And due to ongoing litigation with CVS, I was not able to obtain very much more information because they are still currently going through litigation. There was an article that I became aware of in February of 2023 in Oklahoma news that indicated that it looks like there's some type of misunderstanding, perhaps, I'm hoping. Because they're stating that that the members in Oklahoma can still receive a 90-day supply at retail. However, CVS is stating that they're complying with the state requirements and that they had to remove the access of their maintenance choice, which is what provided them the ability to receive a 90-day supply either at a CVS pharmacy or through mail order. For our members had a choice of either or. So without knowing what the benefit design of the rest of the employer groups are, it's certainly looking as though they're targeting because it was only a 90-day at CVS pharmacies. But we'll keep you informed as more information becomes available with that. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Sir.
Herman?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Have you heard of silver sneakers?
Yes.
Yeah, so can you explain a little bit about that? How much you know about that and whether or not Kaiser taking advantage participates in silver sneakers?
Kaiser does provide a gym membership. So Silver Sneakers, for those that are not familiar, is a gym membership that's provided to the seniors that are in the Medicare Advantage plan. I can't recall, is it Silver Sneakers or Silver and Fit? It's two different ones, but it's one of the two that Kaiser does provide to the seniors that are in Senior Advantage, yes.
I might be having a senior moment, but I think Silver and Fit is associated with Kaiser. And Silver Sneakers may be with
It used to be with United
yeah,
Health.
healthcare.
Yeah, because in addition to the gym membership, they also have the ability to do it virtually.
Mhm.
They can do it at home, work out at home. In my understanding, it has all the benefits. And the idea is to keep the seniors healthy as much as we can. So, okay. that's great.
Absolutely, yes. They started the virtual capability during COVID.
I have a quick question with respect to the silver sneakers. in speaking with some of our retirees, they brag about, their gym membership, they go all the time. Now, is the gym membership like the city of Los Angeles for all of the retirees or? how does
Our
that
group
work?
has it. I know the individual Kaiser plans and all of the MAPD plans through these
Right.
plans, the Medicare Advantage prescription drug plans, where they assign their Medicare to that plan. So like Kaiser Senior Advantage, United Health Medicare Advantage, all of those provide that gym membership.
What
with it.
about the Anthem 1, 2, and 3s?
That they do have a gym membership, but it's not through Silver Sneakers or Silver and Fit.
What is it
It's-
through?
I would have to get back to you with the name on that one.
Okay. By next year, that's fine.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Cassandra. Well, item 6C, claims experience. Michael.
Good morning. On the first, excuse me, on the first page contains the premium and enrollment by carrier. There's been minimal change compared to the prior month's report. Next page, please. This next slide contains the claims experience by carrier. The year-over-year trend for Anthem decreased slightly from 6.5% to 5.9% when compared to the prior month report. Cigna's year-over-year trend decreased from 10.3% to 8.2% when compared to the prior month's report. Kaiser's experience for the period ending January 31st, 2023 was up 14.2%. However, when compared to the experience in August of 2022, the increase the overall increase was 26.2%. So there is a slight or lower increase when compared to a prior utilization report.
Oh, Michael, so for note, Kaiser updates their experience typically every quarter. So there's a little bit of lag in comparison to Cigna and Anthem. But when we had the prior information from Kaiser, I think the increase was upwards of 24% year over year. And now that we have this new period, we're seeing that decline from 24 down to 14. But as Michael will elaborate a little bit, it's still based on a lot of large claim activity. So we'll get into that in a moment.
Are they giving you backup to these numbers? I mean, can you see how many people they're seeing for what, et cetera, as they?
Large claim activity, they have individual reports for that, so we can see kind of the impact of those.
But do they give you at least numbers
Mhm.
of people that they're seeing, cases, et cetera? For this 14% or 24%, whatever it is, it's 14% now.
You're seeing the utilization and cost activity
Yes.
kind of over the period. So yes, we are.
Okay. The other question I'm having is when you go to the hospital, and I never understand this, maybe you can explain it to this group. You get an $80,000 bill. The insurance company pays 15 to 20. With Kaiser, are they adjusting those costs? So we're getting advantage to it where you're not, if Kaiser charges 80, is that a full charge of 80? Or do we get it down to whatever number that Anthem and Blue, you know what I'm talking about, Steve? Maybe you can explain that.
So Kaiser is an outlier in terms of how they approach it. I think as you described it, a bill, the associated discount and what the net cost would be to the plan and to the member. That would be typical for Anthem, Cigna, United Healthcare, et cetera. Kaiser is an integrated health system and they basically have their own budget for delivering services and ensuring that they can provide coverage as necessary when it's required. So as such, what they charge is what they charge. So there is no kind of.
Is that greater than Anthem and Blue Shield and the rest of them, or do we not know?
To be honest, we really don't know. It's typically based on total premium, and that's how we'll have to judge Kaiser relative to your other plan options. But it's not a direct comparison. A lot of the activity occurs within Kaiser facilities. So it is.
And I'm talking about Medicare, obviously. I mean, basically the others.
Yeah.
So we don't know, and we don't know what the real number is then compared to our other providers.
Yeah, there's not a direct
Okay,
comparison.
thank you.
Any other questions on that? Steve, I did a little research on my own on the active employees are obviously upset that their premiums going up 15% with Kaiser.
Mhm.
And I've got some friends that work at Kaiser, so I was asking them, what their read was, and what Kaiser is telling their employees. During COVID, they suffered a massive loss of members because they lost their jobs. They kept on insuring these people. They kept on paying their premiums, and they did that for a lengthy period of time. They just didn't cut them off. So my understanding, what I've been told is that it was a combination of COVID, people being laid off or just not able to come to work, quitting their jobs, whatever, losing their insurance, all in Kaiser, and they were being treated for something, and Kaiser continued the treatment. And then finally they had to say, we can't do this anymore. And then it was just a combination of lost enrolled people and bills relevant to COVID that were just extraordinarily high. That's what I was able to find out when I was trying to figure out why the 15%. Because I can tell you, the active unions they're freaking out over a 15% increase. Personally, I've been thinking it's coming for a long time. I think all the bills from COVID haven't caught up with any of us yet.
Probably not. Again, I think distinction here is that from an active population, we're starting to see renewal activity for other accounts that we work with in the public sector. And I think Kaiser has kind of outlined, historically, they had a maximum increase of 15%, and they had a potential of a -5, based if your experience was really good. But basically within that range, you'd get kind of the average increase that they would have. In this current cycle, they've increased that to, I think, maximum is 25% increase if you are kind of the worst of the worst at that moment. And there is no reduction if you're doing well. So it's basically you're just looking at a rate pass, but it's going to depend very much on the group's own activity, what's going on. But to your point, I think Kaiser tends to kind of lag the experience that we see with other vendors and other activities. So in years when they should be looking great, they look bad. And then when it's a weird cycle trying to follow them and match up with what we see with everyone else.
Particularly without information. I'm really down and dirty. You don't really know what's going on.
They do manage the information very, very tightly.
Les, but I think my Anthem has gone up, the PPO has gone up about 10% a year, and I don't understand that. But I think, Steve, also 80% probably of COVID, maybe less, but not much less, had to be older people under Social Security that were hospitalized. Okay, some below, but mostly above 65, I would say, during the COVID period.
You get to pick it up from there, Michael.
Okay, thank you. Bonnie, could you share the presentation? Next page, please. Page 3 of 7. Thank you. So this contains the Anthem claims experienced by plan. For Anthem plans on an aggregate, the year-over-year trend decreased slightly from 6.9% to 6.8% compared to the prior month's report. Next page, please. This contains the updated Kaiser utilization report through January 31st, 2023. The year-over-year change remains high due to continued influence from inpatient utilization, which increased 45.42% on a member basis when compared to the prior period. During the most recent 12 months, 6 individuals have incurred claims exceeding $525,000 or more. Next page, please. This contains the high cost claimant report, high cost claimant utilization for Anthem, Cigna, and Kaiser. Anthem increased 230.8% when compared to the prior month's report. Cigna increased 18.4% when compared to the prior month's report. And Kaiser decreased 31.3% when compared to the prior utilization report. Next page, please. This contains the prescription drug rebates and remains unchanged from the prior period. Next page, please. And the dental claims trend year over year increased from 8.8% to 9.8% when compared to the prior month's report. The vision claims trend, the year over year trend increased by 0.4% when compared to the prior month's report. Thank you.
Any questions? Item D, Steve, federal legislation.
Just a quick highlight included in your packet is some information, just for reference. In March, U.S. District Court in Texas, validated the ACA preventive screening benefits, basically taking it back and saying you can't do that. There's the administration's making efforts to, kind of circumvent this decision, and we'll see if there's anything else at play. There's nothing to do for LACERA, other plan sponsors at the moment. And again, as a retiree only group, that kind of is outside your realm anyway, but we wanted to at least share that with you for information purposes. And the last item is related to the No Surprises Act and the institution of no gag clauses, which is basically intended to ensure that quality and pricing information is readily available to kind of broad community. So we're working with LACERA's current vendor partners to ensure that that is taken care of. The first attestation is due December 31st of this year. So that's what we have.
Any questions? Item 7, items for staff review,
I have nothing.
nothing. Good of the order. Anyone want to address good of the order? Wait for the Board of Retirement Day. I'll accept the motion to adjourn. And we are adjourned.
Let's do a 9:05 for the start of the board meeting. So press your coffee and we'll start at 9:05.